GM, how are you guys?
Ooh, the energy. What up, man? Let's go.
It sounds like a
Good, I'm
Telegram
good.
chat here. All right, brother. Well, I mean, we were preparing for the show, and we were like, we literally know nothing. We know nothing about what you guys are up to, other than we had Steven from Metaplex on, and he was talking about Genesis, and obviously flagged you guys as one of the early launches there. I think there was a lot of news, a lot of timeline activity around it. So would love to check in on how that launch process went. But I actually don't even know what, I mean, you have been tweeting, you have a landing page that doesn't really say a whole lot. So maybe you can just level set us here. What is dm.fun actually, like what's the opportunity you guys are going after? And then would love to talk about the progress so far.
Yeah, 100%. So just to kind of give a little extra background here, DM Fun is actually from the Matrica Labs team. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Matrica Labs product, we are the #1 community management solution in Web3. We power a lot of the top NFT and token communities for powering their holder chats in Discord, their rewards, and basically any sort of holder experiences you'd get for holding like NFTs or crypto. And then on the same end, we also power a lot of the token gated Telegram chats. So think of, top meme coins or like whale chats where you have to hold like $100,000 worth of a coin to get access, right? So our bots actively managing who's allowed in and out of those chats. And DM Fun is essentially the next iteration of the Matrica tool line. You guys could kind of view it as that because, you know, over the past 4 years building Matrica, we kind of realized that the infrastructure, Telegram and Discord, isn't really ideal as a builder, right? We're completely limited to what Telegram allows us to build for, creating community experiences. So with DM Fun, we're trying to actually own the application layer here and compete with Telegram for crypto. So a big part of DM Fun's goal is to move all the token community chats and the communication layers for tokens, community management, community building over to a safe standalone application backed by the Matrica team. So that's actually our moonshot vision here, is essentially being able to remove the Twitter and the Telegram angle for meme coin communities, right? Twitter has kind of emerged as like a newer community management solution on crypto. But the problem is, like, once the dev's done with the coin, he could just rug the community. So anyone can delete those, anyone can start them, anyone can create a community chat for a coin and push their own agenda. Whereas with DM Fun, everything's tied to the contract address. So holders and users on the app know they're actually joining the legitimate token community. And anyone in there is going to be talking about that direct token.
Yeah, so I think we've, over the years, seen a bunch of people run at this crypto Discord opportunity, or, recognize that Telegram chat maybe isn't purpose built and something better could exist. But obviously kind of, the network effects are strong, and kind of getting people to move over to a new solution is very hard. So I'm curious what the insight you guys have is that gives you confidence you can go do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that drives our team in terms of confidence is the fact that we've been building on Telegram and Discord for so long. When we first started, there were many big providers for token gating, community management, rewards, everything like that. And over 4 years, we grew to be the #1 provider. So over those 4 years, our team, especially on the development side, the marketing side, the BD side, we learned a lot about how a community forms, what's needed, what are the pain points for founders. And, now with this new meme meta, it's like, what are the pain points for deployers? So I think if there's another team that's kind of capable to do it, it would be us, simply given we already have the network effect. Matrica has 1.7 million users. We already power the top communities in Web3. And a lot of the features that these token communities want, we can't actually give them just because we're limited by Telegram's infrastructure. So with DM Fun, we're going to start switching communities over. So anyone that has a Discord community for their token, or anyone that has a Telegram chat for their token, they're going to be able to migrate that chat to DM Fun for free. So we're already removing friction by making it a free service, and we're opening it up for any token on Solana. So I think like we're essentially taking the experience from the past 4 years and wrapping that into this new app, and then leveraging our existing network to onboard users and communities.
I love your optimism. I truly do. Man, you would have to put I think Zora had to put a gun to my head to get me to go even sign back up for Discord. So, but clearly I'm not maybe the right user here. It seems like coming out with a token early around this was a core part of the strategy. I'm assuming that is also part of the growth strategy or a way of bootstrapping some network effects. Can you talk about the specific strategy and intention around doing a public sale pre-product launch?
Yeah, 100%. So I spoke about this on a few podcasts before launch, but the key here is, a lot of teams when they're building in Web3, they'll usually do a VC round, right? And a lot of the tokens or a lot of the equity comes with a token warrant. So you're essentially locking up tokens with venture funds who don't really have a true care for the product. Like a lot of times these guys are taking bets. They're betting maybe on the team more so than the community backed. So what we wanted to do was offer our tokens to the community first, right? Rather than selling them to a VC and having just an allocation locked up on a vesting schedule, we wanted to give it to people that believed in the product early on. Matrica believers, Web3, people that trusted the vision. And yeah, that was essentially the logic behind it. Rather than going the route of every other team, we wanted to do it ourselves and kind of give community first access. And if you think about, these meteoric products like Pump Fun, imagine if Pump Fun on day one launched with the token and you're like, hey, this is an awesome platform, and you bought into that. Like your upside potential on that token would have been massive. And if you look at it, like what happened, a lot of people, like Frank and a couple other big KOLs, yeah, they got seed round access to Pump Fun, but the actual community and the core users, they didn't. They're still waiting on an airdrop. They had to wait over a year to get access to the token, which launched at a multi-billion-dollar FDV. So with our vision here, we wanted to give our early believers the cheapest entry to the token, get them in at the ground floor, and if they truly believe in our product and they truly believe that our DM fund will grow, then they could be along for the entire journey.
And was that successful from your perspective? And where did it ultimately land?
The pre-sale, we had an ambitious goal. We were attempting to raise $10 million with the pre-sale. We ended up landing a little bit lower than that. I think the big error on our end was overestimating the amount of demand. Our marketing campaign was very, very successful. We had a lot of people interested in the product, a lot of people asking for early access, and I think that ultimately led us to think that the demand was there for a larger raise. And then also that would have been what we raised via venture capital. So we kind of were a little bit too ambitious in that end. But I mean, I think with what we did raise, we were very successful. I think with the app releasing very soon, we're on a good path.
What did you guys end up raising?
I believe it was about 9,000 SOL, somewhere around there, 9,000 SOL.
Yeah, I think our big pushback was looking like I think it was like a $60 million implied FDV pre-product, and I think from our perspective, getting a venture round done for a consumer crypto product at a 60 mil val pre-product is not something you've really ever seen. Do you feel like you just priced it too high?
Yeah, I think to some extent it was priced a little bit too high. I mean, we also were going off Matrica's seed round valuation. So it's like, we did our pre-product valuation for Matrica at 20 mil FDV, just for reference. So
when was that?
1.7 million. That was 2022, I believe, late 2021.
There you go.
So
yeah. Different world today, my man. Different world today. But yeah, I mean, I think it's we are big fans of tokens early. I think the question of how early is one that I think a lot of people are debating in the market, and we'll continue to see. And it's probably very case dependent. But I think one of the challenges of coming up with a token early is if you don't paint a great chart, it feels like you really have a lot of uphill sort of work to do. Obviously, you guys don't have the product out right now, and it clearly you believe you have sort of this war chest of attention and sort of previous product market fit with your other product. I'm curious how you're thinking about the next weeks and months, and maybe your opportunity to make the bull case pitch here for a token that is, I would assume in your mind, undervalued for the opportunity ahead.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the token's very undervalued. So our initial goal was to sell 15% of the supply in the pre-sale. We ended up only selling, I believe, about like 4%. So like the amount of tokens available on the market at our current FDV is super low. So if you think about a token that has potential to run, I think that DM Fund's the best one. There's just so little supply on the market. A lot of it's locked up for multiple years from the team and investor allocations. And the app's coming very soon. Like we actually, I put out the tweet right before we went on, we're 90% ready for beta access. So Beta is going to be going live very soon. People are going to get their hands on the app. We're going to start onboarding all the communities. We're going to start announcing all of our infrastructure partners. So I think that once people see that, hey, this is a real product, this is, you know, a real team behind it, they actually have partnerships lined up, they actually have communities using this, they actually have a user acquisition funnel, they have a flywheel ready for their token, I think then people are going to start to see it's real. I think one big thing, and this is, you know, something we overlooked, was the amount of trust that we thought we had going into it. You know, we've been building for 4 years at Matrica. We've been one of the, you know, most trusted teams in terms of building things, working with all the top communities, not offering any sort of scam products to community members, not doing any like sketchy token launches or anything like that. And I think that we thought people were going to be more okay with a launch strategy like this, whereas we learned that the community's been burned too many times. You know, like when they see a community launch a token and then have the product come a few weeks later, they see that as, oh, there is no product. They don't see it as like, hey, they've been building this tool for multiple months, it's about to come out, they have a launch sequence in place. So I think that until the app goes into beta, people are going to have some questions that they need answered. And once it goes into beta this week, I think, you know, a lot of people will be very happy with what we built.
I mean, this is what I love about the show, Josh. We get to bring people on who just have, I mean, the conviction that you built from just knowing what you're doing day to day is very hard to get across on the timeline. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding here. You guys kind of have the levers to go pull. I'm going to have to leave it here with you because we have another guest joining with an absurdly tight time window. But I will say 11 a.m. has this 11 a.m. strategy, right? Which means that we buy tokens from the guests who come on and include them in our treasury. And so when I'm looking at this chart, it has a big red candle and then just a bunch of sideways pre-product launch. I mean, it's the type of token I'm happy to have in 11 a.m. strategy. Take the over on you and your team's ability to go build something big over the next little while. So apologies that we had to keep this so short. I would love to, but I think ultimately we're all waiting to see what your product is, right? This is going to be the proof in the pudding here. So if you're able to convince me to go switch and dive into this thing, then I should probably full port this token. Not sure you're going to be able to.
We have a big launch strategy ready. So hopefully I can get you on. Beta's coming this week. It's going to be a rollout across all the different app stores over the next like 2 weeks. And yeah, like once that goes live, I think people are going to really see what we built here and they're going to love it.
Amazing, man. Really appreciate you hopping on, and truly wish you the best. I think it's bold to come out with a token early. It's very hard to figure out where the market's going to be, but I do like your confidence. I think that sort of shows that you guys you got something up your sleeve.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks,
yeah, very excited.
Yeah, we'll catch up.
Thanks for having me on.
Catch up soon when it's out and we have some numbers to look at and reflect on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, boss. Thanks so much.
Peace, man.